Hello, everyone. This is Craig Scarborough, and I welcome you to the third game of my opening day instant, replay using Inside Pitch Advanced. Previous two games were all American League games, so this is my first foray into National League Baseball, and it's the New York Mets at the Cincinnati Reds. Now, the 1983 Mets were terrible, so I don't think anyone really was expecting much in 1984. They had the makings of a young pitching staff. Of course, they had Darryl Strawberry and team, but they still had a lot of remnants of those awful teams of the early 80s. One of the pickups for the starting rotation was Mike Torrez, and I think he only got like 3 starts in the year. Let's see. Actually, no, he went 1-5, 40 innings pitched, so he was absolutely terrible, which is really funny because you got Dwight Gooden and Ron Darling and Sid Fernandez and all these guys, and they thought Mike Torrez would be their number one, their veteran presence. So we're going to watch Mike Torrez today facing Mario Soto. Of course, Mario Soto for the Reds was at the top of his game in 1984. He was 18-7 with a 3.53 ERA, and he could actually hit a little bit. Not as well as Mike Torrez, but we'll see. This is your opening day game, which was typical of, I'll say, Major League Baseball. They always handed the Reds the opening day game at Riverfront Stadium, so it would always be like the first game of the day. I still wish they did that. I think that was kind of fun. Really exciting as, a 14, 15-year-old kid knowing baseball is starting. And of course, you've got Cincinnati Reds as that starting point, and then other teams would chime in either that night or later that afternoon. But Cincinnati always got the opening of the opening day. So today, again, the New York Mets at Cincinnati. The starting lineup for the Mets: Wally Backman at second, Jose Oquendo at short, Keith Hernandez at first, George Foster in left, Strawberry in right field. Batting sixth is the center fielder Mookie Wilson. Seventh is Hubie Brooks at third, and Ron Hodges is the catcher. So this is pre-Gary Carter. And then Mike Torrez on the mound for the Mets. So why don't we start? We'll have Mario Soto starting against Wally Backman, and let's see what Inside Pitch Advance has for us today. Oh, by the way, we're using red and white dice, because the Reds in their red and white uniforms. So that is a 3-5 off Mario Soto. That is a ballpark play. And that is an 8-6. So that is a fly ball to center field. So the first pitch, even though we've already played 2 games already, the first pitch of the first game is a fly ball to the center fielder Eddie Milner, and he catches it, and that's the first out. That'll bring up the shortstop, Jose Oquendo, not really known as a good hitter, about a 222 in 1984. The pitch from Soto is a 4-2. That is a range play with an 11. 8 is below his range play, so it is a range play. Goes to Oquendo. That is a 2-3. That's a double to left field, potentially. So range play, double to left field, and that's going to Gary Reedus, who has a range of 3. So let's see what Gary does. 4, he does not make the play. So light hitting Jose Oquendo is on second base. The first base hit of the game. That will bring up Keith Hernandez. 311 on the year, 15 homers, 94 RBIs. Basically the veteran presence they really needed on the field as well as in the batting order. So more than excelled in this role. Soto with a pitch. That's a 6-4. That is against a lefty. That's an automatic out. So that is a 12. That is an F8. So it's a fly ball to center field. Is Oquendo going to try to advance? Let's roll the 2 D8s. That is a 7-5. So we're going to where the ball is hit. And he advances if it's to center or right, and it was hit to center. So he's going to advance to third base. Out, runner on second, advance to third. So, Jose, you know what? I forgot to see if he was stealing. My bad. So no strategy roll. Well, I'll have to do it this time. He does have a chance. 1 in 20 chance of trying to steal home. Let's see if he goes. He's not. So Soto will now face George Foster. With 2 out here, and Oquendo's still now on third base. 6-1. That is a blank against a righty. Foster swings. That is a 1-4, and that is with runners in scoring position. It's a star 2, which would be an automatic out to second base if it falls in his range. He's got a 10 on both, but it's above his range. So that turns, I'm sorry, his star 2, G4 turns into an S4. So Mario Soto is not, well, he's 50-50, but that high roll nullifies the out and turns it into a base hit, an S4 with runners on. Runners in scoring position. So George Foster gets the first RBI of the year. A base hit past the second baseman, Ron Oster. And now he's on first. He's got a potential steal of a 2 or less. He's a 7th. That's not happening. And that brings up Darryl Strawberry, the young phenom, who hopefully will be the messiah for Mets fans. So here's the pitch. Foster on first, 7-3. That is, home run. Holy moly. So let's see. Against a lefty, it's a home run. 15, and he's a 27, and I don't care what his E or O is because it doesn't affect him because he is a 27 or 30. So Darryl Strawberry takes Mario Soto deep, a huge 2-run shot, and looks like the Messiah is saying, yeah, I'm here to stay, baby. So that is a 3-0 lead for the Mets already here in the top of the first inning. And I have to say, I think they're going to need it, considering Mike Torrez is their starter. That will bring up the 6th hitter, Mookie Wilson. Mario Soto staring at the mound now, wondering what the heck is going on here. I'm better than this. That's a 3-6. That is a K plus, a 17 with an 11. Add 10 to it. That is a strikeout. So Mario Soto takes down Mookie Wilson, but the Mets score 3 runs on 3 hits and no one left on base. We're going to head to, let's see, the Mets score 3, and the Cincinnati Reds are coming up to bat. So here's Mike Torrez on the mound. Veteran presence. Don't know his age, but I know the new card sets are going to have the age, so we'll be able to figure that out. Or you guys will be able to figure that out. Let's see. Mike Torrez, 1-5, 40 innings pitched, 64 hits. Good grief. Did not give up many home runs, thank goodness. But loved walking guys. So he walked about 4.5 guys a game, had a 6.30 ERA. That does not bode well. 3-run lead or not, that does not bode well. So here's Gary Redus for Cincinnati. Got a 254, 7 homers, 22 RBIs, but look at that, 48 stolen bases. So Torrez, who loves to give up hits and walks, is going to try to keep Redus off the bases. We'll see how he does. That is a 6-5. That is a single pound sign. So that's an automatic base hit. And a 16, let's see, that goes to 8. So that's a S8. And that is a leadoff base hit and open the floodgates there, Aunt Selma. You may be in for a slugfest here. So Redus is on first. 10 or less, he's going. 11, of course. So he'll just bide his time out there, but Torrez will be pitching to Eddie Milner. 232, 7 homers, 29 RBIs, but he had 21 stolen bases as well. So he's got some speed to burn. 6-7, that is a EFG at the park. So possible error on a foul or a grounder at the park. And that is a 7-8. That is a D9. So I don't think that's an error. No, it's not. But that is a D9. So is Redus going to go? Bring up that advancement chart. Let's see again. That is a 6-6. He's going to hold on an arm of 6-7. It's a double to right field. Strawberry has an arm of 6, so he's going to hold, even though Redus is a speedster, he's going to hold him at third. Redus is, again, going to bide his time, kind of go station to station, because they've already got runners at second and third with nobody out. And Mike Torrez is saying, you know, I used to be able to throw harder than this. I'm just getting old, man. So, let's see. Dave Concepcion, runners on second and third. They're going to play back because they do have the 3-run lead. The pitch from Torrez, and we've got no one. Actually, there is a chance of stealing home of 1. So let's try it. Nope. Okay. The pitch from Torrez to Concepcion, that is a 2-8. That is a base hit automatic. Good grief. That's a 7. That's a G5, so that makes it an S5. And that might score because Milner is a 6 on second base. No, he's not. Actually, yeah, 4+. So both runs score. And we've got ourselves the slugfest. It's 3-2 as Concepcion comes up with the 2 RBI single, and that'll bring up Dave Parker. Mike Torrez yet to get an out here. He's going up 3 base hits. And some rustlings in the bullpen, I'll bet. 8-7. That is an automatic out. Hey, good for you, Mike. Let's see, a 10. That is a G4, so we might actually have a double play here. Parker is a hard to double up here because he's a 15 plus. So let's see. Rule modifier. It was a 10, right? I think it was a 10. You know what? I'm going to redo this. I should have kept it and just used that roll. That is a 15. Rule modifier of a +1. And that is a double play because I re-rolled it. Well, you know, the dice giveth and the dice taketh away. But that is a double play because of my re-roll. I think that was a 10, but I'm not 100% positive. So we'll move on to Dan Dreesen. But the pitcher's best friend comes through for Mike Torrez, and now he thinks he's due for a complete game. But we'll see, Mike. We'll see. The pitch to Dreesen. Dreesen, 5-3. That is a walk, because of course it is. That's a 6. That is a walk, so Dreesen gets on base. He is a 1 to steal with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. It's already 3-2 here, Mets. He's not going anywhere. Torrez will pitch to Nick Esaski. That had only 193, but had 10 homers and 322 at bats. So he's very young, Nick Esaski. The pitch, 1-7 is a walk. 19 is a walk, +1 a Riverfront. He is a 19 against a righty, so just hit his limit. But Esaski walks as well. Now it's first and second, and Torres has faced 6 batters, gotten 1 out, but it was a double play. 3 hits and 2 walks otherwise. Fancy little 27-run ERA thus far. So let's see. Torres will be pitching to Ron Oster, batted .242. He's the 7-hitter. 242 in the year, 3 homers, 38 RBIs. Torres again throws. That's a 3-8. Range play 14. That is a range play. Oster swings. That's a 2-4. G4 range play. And Backman is only a 2. Yikes. Mike Torrez praying, Wally, please get this, and he does not. That's an S4 with 2 outs, so we're going to add, let's see, Dreesen. He scores with a 3+. He doesn't have that, but you add 1, so he is going to score with 2 out. And then Esaski is a 3, and he's going to go from first to third. He's not, but again, with 2 out, he's running, so he does advance to third. So 2 outs here. Runners advance an extra base solely because there were 2 outs, and now it's tied up 3-3. Good grief. So, Dan Billardello, the number 8 hitter. He batted .209, but who cares? Because Mike Torrez has just given away free hits. He had 2 homers and only 10 RBIs on the year. So here's Torrez, who got the 3-run lead and promptly gave it back. He will face Billardello, 3-6. That is a walk home run. So against a righty, that's a home run. That is a 14, too high. Thank goodness, Mike. Billardello swings. That's a 6-3. That's a fly ball to left field. Torres tried to give up a home run, but Billardello would not take him up on the offer. The Reds score, however, 3 runs on 4 hits and leave 2 runners on. We'll be going to the top of the second. We're tied 3-3. We've got a brand new ball game. So, due up for the Mets here in the top of the second inning will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Hubie Brooks, Ron Hodges, and then Mike Torrez, if they feel like it. We'll see. Or did he only last 1 inning? We'll see. We'll see. So, let's see. Mario Soto trying to brush off that awful first inning. Start from scratch. That's a 2-4. That is a strikeout. A 5. That is a strikeout. Hubie Brooks goes down swinging. Obvious talent disparity between Mario Soto and Mike Torrez. Here's the pitch from Soto to Ron Hodges, the catcher. Batted .208 on the year. That is a 6-8. That is a EG. Hodges swings. That's a 5-4. That's a star 5, which is an F8, so no error on a ground ball to the fly ball guy in center field, and that will bring up Mike Torrez. Well, the Mets are feeling optimistic that was just a hiccup for Mike, and he will swing away with 2 out here. Whoops, missed the thing. Let's start over. He'll swing away against Soto. That is an 8-2 strikeout plus. Oh, I'm sure that's a strikeout. Mike Torrez is actually, he was only a 6, but with a strikeout plus, that is a strikeout. So Torrez goes down swinging. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets. Trying to regain the lead. They could not. So we're heading to the bottom of the second now. It's still, well, it's 3-3. Leading off for the Reds will be Mario Soto. He's a pitcher hit card number 6. He strikes out a lot and does not walk. Here's the pitch from Torrez, feeling really comfortable now. Against a lefty, that's a walk, but Soto is a righty, so that's a strikeout, and 11, that is a K. So Torrez is feeling good. He's back on the mound, baby. He's ready for this. He's already got the first out. Easy peasy. Here's Gary Redus. He singled to center field his first time up. Torrez pitches. That's a 4-1. That's a walk. And against a righty, that is too high. So Torrez tried to walk him. Gary Redus says, no thank you. I'd rather hit. 1-2, but it's an automatic out. It's an automatic out to Jose Oquendo, the shortstop, who tosses it to Hernandez. And lo and behold, Torrez has now retired 3 batters in a row. He's in a groove. Torrez pitches to Eddie Milner, who doubled his first time up, 6-6. That is a strikeout, and 8 against a righty. That would have been a strikeout, but we got a -1 of Riverfront Stadium, so it saves Eddie Milner. He will swing away. That's a 1-1. That's an automatic out, however. Fly ball to left fielder Foster. And look at this. Mike Torrez says, thank you very much for the confidence, Mr. Manager. Told you I could do it. We hit to the top of the third. It's still 3-3. All right. Leading off the top of the third will be the top of the order for the Mets. Wally Backman, Jose Oquendo, and Keith Hernandez. Backman flew out his first time up. Soto with the full windup. That is a 2-8, which is a EB. Possible bobble here, 7-6. That is a fly ball to right field, so no bobble. Just a regular out to Dave Parker. That's the first out. Jose Oquendo now. You got that ball rolling with a double to left field his first time up. Soto pitches, 2-6. That is a automatic out, an 11. That's an F8. So fly ball to Eddie Milner, parked under, and he's got it. That's 2 outs. That brings up Keith Hernandez, who flew out to center field. He did not join the hit parade like the rest of the Mets in that first inning. Soto deals, 6-3. That's an EB. And that's a 4-1. That's a line out to the first baseman. So EB with a line out ain't going to happen. Line out to Dan Driesen. And that is 3 up and 3 down for the Mets in the top of the third. We're going to head to the bottom of the third now. Cincinnati 3, the Mets 3. Torrez feeling really good about himself after that second inning. He's faced 11 batters thus far. He can face up to 21. So, yep, his elbow's already starting to feel a little impingement. But he says, I can do it, coach. I can do it. I can get you through. Leading off for the Cincinnati Reds will be Dave Concepcion, then Dave Parker, and Dan Driesen. And, it's funny. I don't know why. Growing up, is it Driesen or Driesen? Anyway, I'm going to say Driesen, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So Concepcion, he hit a single through past third base and has had 2 RBIs. So you'd like to do that again, but there's no one on base. So you have to do it by yourself then, kid. 4-7, that's a strikeout. 15 is too high. Concepcion gets a 3-8. That's a base hit to center field. So it's his second hit of the ball game. And the sky is starting to fall again for Mike Torrez. Yep, I know it's been only 1, but it doesn't take much. He can steal on a 4. That's Concepcion. He's a 19, so we got a hit and run play going on. Mike Torrez, Dave Parker, hit and run. Mike Torrez, that is a 2-1. That's a range play at the park. So much going on. 3-4. That is a fly ball to left field. If he makes the play. Foster is a 4. Hit and run, F7. And he's a 4, so let's see if he does not make the play. Failed range play. Roll against the 1D20. And I wonder how the hit and run affects that. I'll have to figure that out. Okay. Range play 20 is 1-20, so it's an automatic double. Failed range play double. And we're going to have to fix that because it was a hit and run. I think he should have taken an extra base, but Score view wasn't aware of that, so let's put that in my notes. Hit and run. Thank you for bearing with me. Range play at the park. D7. Actually, range play. All right. A lot going on here. A lot going on. Okay. So, second and third. Concepcion was running on the play, but tripped, apparently, and scabbed his knee. So he barely made it into third. So second and third here, nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning. Dan Driesen is up. He walked his first time. Infield is back because, good Lord, we need to get some outs here, say the Mets. 8-7, that is an automatic out. That's a 17, and that's a fly ball to center field. So is that going to be a sac fly? It's 17, so we have to re-roll. Driesen has a SF rating of 12. He does. So batter out, and the runner on third scores without a throw. And now we look at the advancement of the guy on second. So we roll the 2 dice. That's a 3-7. Base running, that is an automatic hold. So batter out, runner on third scores. Runner on second holds. Boom. Okay. So the Mets, I'm sorry, not the Mets, the Reds take a 4-3 lead on the sacrifice fly by Dan Driesen. And that'll bring up Nick Osaski. We're here in the bottom of the third inning. Reds are leading 4-3 with 1 out. And that brings up Osaski, who is 0 for 0. He walked his first time up. Torrez pitches. That's a 7-5. That is a walk. 15. Yep, Osaski walks again. Hey, man, if you're not going to get it over, Nick Osaski says, thank you very much. I'll just gladly take that walk. We've got runners on first and second now with 1 out. And Torrez is laboring. 15 batters faced, 2 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. I think they're going to see if he can get Oster out, who singled and had an RBI his first time up. 5-7, that is an automatic single. Good grief, that's a F8, so we're going to make that an S8. And we're advancing the runners, because of course we are. Let's see. Runner on second, that is a 4-1. So he's going to advance automatically, and the trailing runner on a trailing runner's advance if the red D8 is less than his trailing running batter. So Parker scores, and the red is not less than Osaski's 3, so it's just going to be runner on first. So Parker scores from second, and Osaski gets into second, and that's it. But another run scores for Cincinnati. It's now 5-3 here in the bottom of the third. 2 1/3 innings, giving up 5 runs. And I think they're going to say, you know what? We love you, Mike, but you just didn't have your stuff today, did you? And some guy named Gaff, if we have him, is going to be coming in. And again, that's just basically a dice roller for all the different areas. Brent Gaff, for all the times the Mets used a reliever before the 5th inning, and we just pick from that pile. And Brent Gaff gets the win. And actually, he had 84 1/3 innings. So he pitched in relief 47 times. He can face 7 batters. So it's not going to get them to like the 6th or 7th inning. But hopefully, he doesn't pour lighter fluid on the fire here. And Foster is leading off, so we're not going to replace Hernandez or Oquendo. So we'll just bring him in. And here's Brent Gaff. Waves hi to everybody on opening day. Super excited just to be here. And he'll be facing Dan Billardello, the 8th batter, who flew out to left field. 5-1, wild pitch, 15. That's a passable pass ball. Okay, so Hodges has a 0 pass ball rating, so I think I really should memorize this. I think with the 0, he's probably automatic, isn't he? Let's find out, kids. I know I did this either last game or the game before. So you think I would have learned this by now. Where's the wild? Wild. There it is, page 5. Okay, wild. Thank you for if the 1D roll is a yes, we know it is. Okay. The roll is less than or equal to his rating, the catcher blocks ball. Ron Hodges does not like blocking balls. So that is a pass ball with his rating of 0. And Oster and Osaski move up. So it's second and third. Gaff says, hey, thanks, Ron. You couldn't block that pitch from me? So let's see. No one's running. Here's the pitch from Gaff. It's a 1-8. That's a walk. That's a 3. That is a walk. So Billardello walks, and that brings the bases are now loaded for Mario Soto. They'll be playing the infield back, trying to get a double play here. Gaff will pitch. That's a 7-6. That's a walk. Of course it is. But you know what? Mario Soto says, no thank you. I don't like walking. So he just swings away. And that's a 5-5. And that is a star 4, which is a fly ball to center field. And he has no sacrifice fly rating. So better outfield, so. And so now we're going to go to the fly ball to center field thing. And that's a 4-8. And he's going to advance. We're on third scores. That's cool. But I don't know about the runner on second. So we need to look into that as well. Failed SF. Runner on third scores. Just taking some notes here, people. So unfortunately, we didn't even check for the guy on second, although I think we should have, so we'll have to fix that. So the Reds now take a 6-3 lead. So sorry for me not being like, oh my gosh, a run scored, which I should be. Too busy making sure things are working right here. So Oster is on second, Billardello on first, and that brings up Gary Reedus, who is 1 for 2 today with a single and a ground out. Gaff not exactly throwing water on the fire here, but let's see, 6-4, that's a ballpark play. Riverfront Stadium says thank you. That is a star 3, which is a fly ball to the left fielder George Foster, and that should be the last out. But the Reds score 3 runs on 3 hits, leave 2 runners on. At the end of 3, it is Cincinnati 6, New York 3. All right, leading off the top of the 4th, Reds have scored 6 unanswered runs against Met pitching. That'll bring up Gary Foster, good grief, George Foster, Darryl Strawberry, and Mookie Wilson against Mario Soto. Here's the pitch. That's a 5-8 from Soto, which is a K against a lefty, but against a righty, that's a blank, which Foster is. Foster swings, that's a 2-7. That's a ground ball right back to Concepcion, tosses it across, and that's the first out. That brings up Darryl Strawberry, the guy who hit the big 2-run home run, and all the Mets fans were like, woo, we're going to win today. And that was 6 runs ago, unfortunately. But Strawberry's going to try and do it again. Here's the pitch from Soto, 1-6. That's a strikeout. 16 is a bit too high. Strawberry was a 14. 6-7, and that's with runners in scoring position, that's a potential S4 that is blocked, but no runners are in scoring position, so that is an S4. And Strawberry's got a base hit. And he likes to steal, especially against Mario Soto as a +3 hold rating. So that takes his 5 and brings it up to an 8. Down by 3, but Strawberry's feeling loosey-goosey, but not that loosey-goosey. The pitch from Soto is a 4-4. Strikeout plus, that's a 9. That is a strikeout for Mookie Wilson, so he goes down for the second time today. And that's 2 outs. Strawberry's still on first, and brings up Hubie Brooks. Mario Soto has that awful move, and it's a 6, so Strawberry's going to go. So let's see, he is a 15. Billardello's arm is a -1, so that's a 14, and Soto doesn't do anything. So 14 or less, he's gone, or he's safe, and he is safe. So Strawberry looking awesome today, 2 for 2 with a home run and a stolen base. And now there's a runner in scoring position for Huey Brooks. But does Strawberry go again? 2 or less, he does. Nope. Here's the pitch. That's a 7-2. That is a walk. 17 is too high. Brooks says, I'm not going to walk on that. I'm going to swing, baby. 3-7. That is a star 6, so it's an automatic out. Fly ball to center field. Eddie Milner parks under it. He's got it. No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on. Strawberry tried to keep the fun going, but there was no fun tonight in Cincinnati for Mets fans thus far, but we'll see. All right, bottom of the 4th. Reds leading 6-3. That will bring up Eddie Milner, Dave Concepcion, and Dave Parker. And Gaff is still out there. He's thrown to 3 batters. He can face 7 without fatigue. Milner's up. He's 1 for 2 with the double. Gaff delivers. That's a 1-5. That's against a lefty. That is an automatic out. Eddie Milner is a lefty. That's a 15. That's an automatic ground ball to Hernandez. Steps on first himself, and that's the first out. Brings up Concepcion. He's 2 for 2 today with 2 RBIs, 2 singles. Gaff with the delivery. That's a 7-5. That's a strikeout. 14 is too high for Concepcion. 1-2. Double to center field. A D8. So Concepcion is on fire. Probably leading the major leagues in hitting right now. 3 for 3. And that puts him on second. And that brings up Dave Parker. Concepcion was stealing a 1 just to try to rub it in here against the Mets. But he's not going. Gaff with the pitch. 5-4. That is an EFG, so at the park. 3-4. That is a F7. So I don't think that's anything. It is not anything, but we're going to see if Concepcion is going to move from second to third on the catch. So let's roll the 2D8. That is a 5-2. He's holding on a 2-7 of an arm. It was hit to left field. Foster has an arm of a 2. So, 5-2, he actually holds him. You're not going to run on that rocket arm. I guess where the ball was hit. Alright, so that brings up Dreesen now with 2 outs. Gaff up to his 7th hitter now, which will be his top of the line there as far as fatigue is concerned. Concepcion still has a chance to run on a 1 or less. He's not. Gaff with the pitch. That's an 8-1. That's a pickoff. And then if not at the park, he's on second. Let's see. That's an 11. Pickoff error. Well, there you go, kid. Where'd you go? Trying to pick off Concepcion. Failed miserably, didn't you? Alright, where are you coming back? So Concepcion moves to third. And there's still 2 out. And still face 6 batters. Still Dan Dreesen. Concepcion is not a threat to steal. 7-6. There you go. That is a walk. 18 is too high for Dan Dreesen. It's going to befuddle me all day. 7-6. That is a fly ball to the right fielder Strawberry. He's got it easily. Can of corn. No runs, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. At the end of 4 innings of play, it is Cincinnati 6, New York 3. So Soto will be facing the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, and I'm assuming that Gaff is going to be pinch hit for. So Ron Hodges will lead off. He's 0 for 1 today with a fly ball to center field. And the pitch from Soto is a 1-4. That's a range play on a 12. That is a range play. Hodges swings. That's an 8-8 fly ball to right field, but it's a range play to Parker, who only has a range of 2. Oop, gotta do the D8, kid. That's a 6. He doesn't make the play, so RP2B rating of... Oh, it's blank, so it's not going to turn into a double. Soto holds it to a single, but Hodges is on first, and that brings up Gaff, who's saying, "Why am I holding a bat? Somebody save me." And so somebody decides to save him, the Mets manager. We're going to bring up a guy who will bat lefty, hopefully. So we've got Danny Heap, but I think he's a righty. Let's see, we've got Chapman. Oh no, actually, Heap is a lefty. Yep, we're going to go with Danny Heap. I've always kind of liked him. So, I'll bring up Heap. Pitcher card of 7. Just going to go over here. So here's Heap with a runner on first, facing Mario Soto here in the top of the 5th inning. Okay, well, you should probably actually sub him in then, shouldn't you? Yes. All right, there he is. All right, so there's Heap. First at bat of the day, Soto from the stretch, keeping the blazing speedster Ron Hodges on first. 4-8. That is against a lefty. That's an automatic out. Way to go, brought on a lefty. Good managing. 17 is a fly ball to left field, and that is the first out. So Heap swings at the first pitch, does nothing with it. That'll bring up Wally Backman, 0 for 2 today. Flew out to center and right. He's gonna see if he can fly out to left field this time. Hodges, I didn't check this earlier. With a 2 or less, he's going. He's not. From the stretch, 1-6 is a strikeout. 11 is against a righty. That's too high. Backman swings. That's a 5-8. That is a G6. Now, if it was a hit and run, it would have escaped through the infield if his executable, if the D20 was less than his executable. So it would have been, but it wasn't this time because the hit and run was not on. So let's see, G6. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, Concepcion. Taking that 5. The modifier is a -1, so that makes it a 4. So let's see, Hodges is really slow, so it's a fielder's choice. And that puts Backman on first base. He is a threat to steal, especially again with Soto's poor move. He's up to a 9, now with 2 outs. And he's not going. 19 is too high. All right, so Soto will pitch to Okendo. That's a 2-3. Against a lefty, that's a walk plus, but Okendo's a righty, so it's a blank. 7-4, it's a base hit past the shortstop, Concepcion. So with 2 out, let's see, 1-3 with a 6+. He would go to third, and he is a 6+. So Backman advances all the way to third base. And the Mets have something going with Keith Hernandez coming up. Keith Hernandez is the tying run here. First and third here with 2 out. Okendo has a 7 or less. He's stealing second. And holy crap, that is a 1. So that literally means Backman is stealing home. Do I do the crazy? Now normally the way I play these games, I'm like, well, if it shows it, that's what you do. And yeah. But I would think with first and third and Keith Hernandez up, why are you stealing home? So this time I'm going to say no. Because it's Keith Hernandez, right? So usually I just say, well, pitching coach, or I'm sorry, the third base coach, or the Backman saw something, he's going to try it. But I don't think Wally Backman's going to steal home this time. Okay, 8-2, strikeout plus. Oh, you should have tried to steal because that's a strikeout. Backman, I told you to steal. Now he's going to be in the doghouse. Anyway, Hernandez does not come through in the clutch. At the end of 4.5, it's 6-3 Cincinnati, and we need a new pitcher. And they're going to bring in Tom Gorman this time. So here's Tom Gorman saying, hi to everybody. Take him out. George Foster will be up next. Brent Gaff is going back, says, I had a great day. Let's see, here's Tom Gorman. He is, went 6-0 in 1984. Let's bring him in. Gorman. Where are you, Tom? There you are. You're going to be the pitcher, okay? Okay. All right, so here's Tom Gorman with 6-0 on the year with a 2.97 ERA. So he can face 6 batters. He'll be facing Nick Gasaski, Ron Oster, and Dan Billardello here in the bottom of the 5th inning. All right, so here's Gorman, the lefty, pitching to Gasaski. That's a 4-4. That's a strikeout. 11. He strikes out Nick Gasaski. Tom Gorman says, I like pitching. It's fun. And it's easy too, right? Here's Ron Oster. Ron is 2 for 2 today with 2 RBIs, 2 base hits. Gorman with the delivery, 3-1. That is a strikeout. A 2 is a strikeout. So Gorman has struck out his first 2 batters. Had 40 on the year in 57 2/3 innings. So he did strike out a few guys, but not at that rate. Billardello up, 0 for 1 with a walk. Gorman delivers. That's an 8-3. That's another strikeout. 4, that's a strikeout. So he strikes at the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Reds in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tom Gorman looking for Rolaids reliever of the year. And that will bring up in the top of the 6th inning, we've got George Foster, we have Darryl Strawberry, and we have Mookie Wilson. Oh, your favorite Mets. Okay, so Soto will pitch to Foster. He's 1 for 2 today with an RBI, singled in the first. The pitch from Soto. That's a 3-7. That is a strikeout. That's a 1. George Foster goes down swinging. And that's Soto's 6th strikeout of the day here in the top of the 6th. He's faced 22 batters. He can face up to 30. So he's still got something in the tank. Here's Strawberry. 2 for 2, a homer, 2 RBIs, and also stole a base. The pitch from Soto is a 3-3. That's an automatic out. That's a 16. That's a fly ball to the left fielder, Gary Ritas. He's got it quite easily. And that's the first time they were able to retire Strawberry today. Mookie Wilson is now up 0 for 2, struck out twice. Does not like swinging. He likes swinging, he just doesn't like really hitting the ball against Soto. That's a 3-5. That's a ballpark play. That is a 6-5. That's a foul ball to the third baseman, so against a lefty. Let's see, he's batting lefty against him, so lefty righty. That's a foul ball to the third baseman. FP5. Where are you, baby? FP5, there you are. Interesting. All right. Did I just screw up there? No, I did not. Okay. Phew. Almost blew the entire game there. FP5, not registering. Okay. So that's the third out. And that will bring up the Reds in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mario Soto. He's got a pitcher card of 6 against Tom Gorman. Gorman can face another 3 batters, so he could potentially get through this inning. That's a 1-6. That's a range play on a 12-3. It is a range play. Mario Soto is going to try to put the ball in play. That's a 4-4. That's a G1. Range play on a G1. Gorman, it's a 5. That's a 2, so he does make it. Range play on a G1. Successful range play. Thank you very much, and that's the first out. Gary Ritas is now steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Pitch from Gorman, 2-5. That's a strikeout. That's a 10 against a lefty. Strikeout -1, so Riverfront Stadium saves Gary Ritas. He will swing away. That's a 7-5. That's a fly ball to the left fielder, George Foster. He's got it, and that's the second out. Eddie Milner, 1 for 3 today with a double. Gorman facing potentially his last batter. He's really nailed it thus far. Inning and 2/3, no runs, no hits, 3 Ks. 1-5 is a strikeout against a lefty. Milner is a lefty. That's too high, however, for Milner. He puts the ball in play. It's a 5-3. That's an automatic out to the G6, which is Oquendo. 3 up, 3 down again for Gorman. The Mets fans are going to miss his pitching because he'll be coming out soon. And we'll head to the top of the 7th inning. It's still Cincinnati 6, New York 3. Soto will be pitching here in inning 7. He'll be facing Hubie Brooks, Ron Hodges, and then the pitcher spot, which will probably see a pinch hitter, even though Gorman, again, has been pitching phenomenally. Soto now, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 6 Ks. Gave up those 3 runs, but it's been untouchable since. Here's the pitch to Brooks, who is 0 for 2 today. That's a 5-7. That's an error on a throw. Let's see if it actually is. Brooks swings 1-5. That's against a lefty. That's a righty. That's an S6. ET on an S6. I don't think we have an opportunity there. We do not. So no error on a throw. Hubie Brooks singles past the shortstop Concepcion. And that'll bring up Ron Hodges, the 8th hitter. Brooks is a threat to steal, 4 or less. He's not. Soto will pitch. That's a 5-2 against a lefty. That's a walk plus. Ron Hodges does like to walk, and he does. And so now it's 1st and 2nd, and we're like wondering, what's going on here? And that'll bring up Tom Gorman, the reliever, which it's not. We're going to see who we have left to pinch hit. Do we have any other lefties on that bench? We've got this guy named Rusty Staub. Let's do it, Rusty, shall we? All right, Rusty Staub. La Grande Orange, I think they call him, right? Absolute fan favorite. Batted .264 in 1984. 1 homer, 18 RBIs. So prolific pinch hitter. And they figure, now's the time, babes. Let's do this. So Soto will be pitching. He's faced 26 batters. He can face up to 30. And let's actually have him pinch hit, because that would be embarrassing. Staub. Accept changes. All right, there's Staub. Rusty Staub. Here's the pitch from Soto. First and second. Nobody out here in the top of the seventh. The Mets trying to threaten. 4-3. Strikeout plus is a 10. Unfortunately, that's too much for Rusty Staub. So the Grande Orange goes down swinging. It's tough against Soto's changeup. That's his 7th strikeout of the day, and that'll bring up Wally Backman, who is 0 for 3. 6-4-3, Fiedler's choice. Okay, I don't know if I like that. All right, so anyway, let's see, is anyone going? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Yeah, they're going. So this is the craziness. That Mets manager wanted to steal home. I said no. But now he wants to steal third. And I'm going to say, okay, go nuts, babes. Let's see. So Brooks is a 10. I need to look up exactly. I don't really steal third very often. So let's just see here. Thank you, Forg. Why not pick up a beverage? Or why not head to the store and get some shopping done while I look this up? Again, I should know this right off the top of my head, but between inside pitch and inside pitch advance, I just want to double check and make sure that the stolen base divisor. Actually, I think it's strategy roll, attempt to steal on actual. Okay, runner gets the jump, chance to steal roll against his adjusted SP rating. This is the sum of his raw, the pitcher's SP rating. Yeah, so I think it's just the jump, right? That's changed. Let me double check the charts because I know that kind of overrides it. Of course, that's not on this chart. Potential overrising here. Stolen base, jump rate, attempt plus hold divide by 4, round up to steal third. That's all I see. So we're just, oh, there it is. SP rate. Runners, SP plus catcher arm. Yeah, that's all I see. All right, well, let's do this. So he's a 10. Soto is a 0. Villardello is a -1, so it's a 9. So here we go. Going for the double steal. Brooks and Hodges. Blazing trails there on the base pass. A 9 or less, and he steals second or third. He's got it. Holy moly. What a manager. Runner on second steals. Runner on second steals third. Runner on first steals second. Boom. So, craziness ensues. We've got one out here with Backman. And now runners are second and third because of the craziness on the base pass. Infield's going to be playing back. Soto will deal to Backman. That's a 5-7. That is a ET, possible error on a throw. There's Backman, 8-8. That's a G6. Well, we're not going to have a double play. And the runners are back. So let's see, infield back. So let's see, G6, that's Concepcion. He's a 4. That's an 8. That's too high. So it's just the batter is out at first and the runners advance, and it's now 6-4. So now Hodges is on third with 2 out. That brings up Jose Oquendo. You know, that light hitting guy is actually 2 for 3 today with a double. Soto up to 28 batters now. Surprisingly, Hodges is not going to steal home. There's not any chance of doing that. So 3-8 home run. You gotta be kidding me. 9. Jose Oquendo hit 0 homers that year. So Mario tried to throw him a meatball. Jose said, thanks, but I don't know what to do with that. And here's a 5-4. That is a runners in scoring position *3, which means it's a ground ball to short. But Soto, his number is a 10. It is a 10. Holy moly. So runners are in scoring position. He had an opportunity to turn a *3 into a hit if the number was above that. But that was close. Otherwise, we're 6-5 here. So a G6 throws it across to first. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. This shows the funkiness of inside pitch advanced. How things can kind of turn on really, really interesting game mechanics, I'll say. All right, so I'm missing a pitcher in the lineup. So who's going to be that pitcher? We're bringing in Dick Tidrow. This will be the 4th pitcher for the Mets today, here on opening day, exhausting the bullpen. Dick Tidrow comes in. He can face up to 7 batters. He had a nifty little, one of those veteran presence guys with a 9.19 ERA. Only pitched 15 2/3 innings, so this should be fun. There's Tidrow. He's the pitcher. Accept those changes. So, Dick Tidrow, who I don't think had a job after this. 15 2/3 innings, 25 hits, 8 strikeouts, 7 walks, 5 home runs, and 15 2/3. Even Dave Concepcion saying, "Oh baby, I need a home run, baby." Concepcion 3 for 3 today, the double and 2 RBIs. The pitch from Tidrow, that's an 8-6. That is a wild, so that's not happening. Dick, you can't do that yet. You can only do that with runners on. Concepcion swings. That's a 1-8. That's a ground ball to second base. Dick Tidrow is saying, I can do this. This is easy. He'll now face Dave Parker. So I'm thinking, what are the odds of a home run here? Probably like 1 in 4. Let's find out. Parker 1 for 3 today with a double. Let's see. Place one of those offline bets. We'll get rich. 3-4. Oh, strikeout. 14. Too high. Wow, Dick Tidrow. The heck of that, Scarborough. I'm not doing that crap. Stop making fun of me. 3-7. That's the ground ball right back to the shortstop as well. So I'm sorry, that's to Okendo. Not Concepcion. Other team. Here's Dan Driesen. Dick Tidrow is saying, I can do this. I want a new contract. 5-8. That is a walk. 19 is too high. Dick Tidrow tried to screw up, but Driesen said no thanks. 8-6. That is a ground ball to short. Holy moly. I tried to suck. I failed miserably. Alright, so I guess you get another inning there, Dick. We're going to go to the top of the 8th inning. It is 6-4 Cincinnati. Hernandez, Foster, and Strawberry, the heart of the Mets lineup, is up. So let's see, Soto has faced 29 batters. Well, he's held Hernandez 0 for 3 today. Actually struck him out as well. So Soto's going to stay on the mound, but there are guys up in the bullpen. We just don't know who because we can't see them from this angle. 8-2, strikeout plus 9. That is a strikeout. So Hernandez goes down for the 2nd time today. Soto's like, this is easy. Here's George Foster. 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI. Soto now in the fatigue years of his life. Here's the pitch. 2-6. That is a automatic single and he's fatigued. Okay, so never mind. That was fun. Let's see. It's an F8, so it turns into an S8. And Soto says, I'm exhausted. Get me out of here. I don't know what it was. I thought I was okay, but that last pitch to Foster, my arm's falling off. So we're going to go and see who the new pitcher is with Foster on first. That'll be John Franco, who's probably coming in just a little bit early with 1 out here in the 8th, but maybe he can get an inning and 2/3 out of him. Who knows? John Franco, he can face six batters, so maybe he can. Oh, actually, he wasn't a Mr. Save Machine back then. 6 wins, 2 losses, 4 saves. 2.61 ERA. I wonder who the closer was, if they had any. Guess we'll have to find out later. So Franco will be facing Strawberry, which makes sense, bringing the lefty to face the lefty. Where's Franco? Hey, John. There you are. Yeah, that was really stupid. I probably should have done a what do you call that? No one likes to do. Not a bait and switch. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, well, pretend I do. Let's see. So Franco will be facing Strawberry. He's 2 for 3 today, the homer and 2 RBIs. And Foster is on first. I was going to say pinch run for Foster, but he's not the tying run, so we're good. So Franco delivers 1-3 blank. I feel like that's our first blank today. Well, blank. 1-1, that's a G3, ground ball to the first baseman. I did not see if Foster was going, so that's my bad, but I doubt he would have been. Let's see. So roll modifier of 0, that's a 10, and he's in the fielder's choice range. So Strawberry's not at first, and he is a threat to steal. Franco is a +1 on hold, but he takes 2 away from stolen bases, so he's like, I'm not going to hold you on, but I'm going to throw you out. So Strawberry on a 6 or less, 19. That calls for the hit and run with 2 out. Do we screw up hit and run again? Let's try it. Whatever. Go nuts. 1-4. That is a strikeout, but we know that that changes the profile of the strikeout. And you know what? I gotta learn this. So let's see. Hit and run. They're cut in half. Okay, so what did I just do? It's a 1-4. That's a strikeout. That's a 3. His strikeout is cut in half, but he strikes out anyway. So if he strikes out, I think the runner's stealing second. These little things that rarely occur, obviously, are the things that throw me, which extend the game for the viewers at home. So the viewers at home are probably enjoying this so much are saying, no, this is great, Craig. I'm loving it. Let's see. The runner first, right rolls, players that okay, the umpire proceeds normally, all better. Yep, we know that. Batter strikes out, resolve the play like a steal, -2 to the SB rate. So he strikes out, and let's see. Oh, actually, it's the 3rd out anyway. Good grief. Anyway, that was a whole lot of nothing. Oh, Craig, you're killing me. All right, so we're headed to the bottom of the 8th inning. You know, the official score should know what the heck's going on, so shame on me. We're headed to the bottom of the 8th. It is 6-4, Cincinnati clinging to that lead. And it'll be Asaski, Oster, and Billardello in the bottom of the 8th facing Dick Tidrow, who is terrible and somehow escaped with a 1-2-3 inning. Asaski 0 for 1 with 2 walks. Tidrow says, I can do that. I can face up to 7 batters, coach. 2-1, that's a strikeout. 12, that is a strikeout. Dick Tidrow, man, he's going to be the closer. I just know it. He's killing it. Here's Ron Oster. 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Almost lost the 1D8. Here's Tidrow. From the full windup, that's a 5-3. That it's a strikeout. Geez, too high, however. Here's Oster. 8-6. That is a G3. Huh. Tidrow retired all 5 batters he's faced. That'll bring up Billardello 0 for 2 with a walk. The pitch from Tidrow. 5-2. That's a blank. 7-4 is a fly ball to center field. Holy moly, Dick Tidrow. Again, he's going to hold out for a bigger contract. The silver lining of that is that John Franco did not have to be pinch hit for, so he will be able to pitch here in the 9th inning against the Mets. Future Met, but don't tell anyone that. And that'll bring up Brooks, Hodges, and then the pitcher Tidrow. Tidrow says, I can hit. I've retired all 6 batters. I can hit, man. So that'll be Franco facing Brooks, Hodges, which we may. Franco's a lefty, so we'll probably pinch it for Hodges. But here's Brooks. He's 1 for 3. Last gasp here for the Mets here. 6-4 in the top of the 9th inning. 4 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Mets. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Reds. Trying to bring home a victory in opening day is Johnny Franco. Let's see, a 5-7. That is an EB. Brooks, 2-5. That is a L4. EB can't happen on an L4, so a line out to Ron Oster. And that's the first out. Franco knows pitch 1 inning, no hits, no runs thus far. And here's Ron Hodges. And this is where we say, I need a righty. I'm sure there's got to be some awesome right-handed bats. We got Ron Gardenhire. We got Mike Fitzgerald. Jerry Martin. And actually, I should see, because Fitzgerald did pinch hit 9 times. Gardenhire only 5. Junior Ortiz did 9 times as well. Gibbons, Stearns, Christensen. I'm just going to go with Mike Fitzgerald. He did pinch hit 9 times against lefties on the year. So, and we'll have another pinch hitter after him. So you'll get a chance too, whoever the other guy was, Junior Ortiz. So here's Fitzgerald. Batted .242 on the year, trying to give the Mets some life. Let's see, pinch hit. And he can slip in at catcher if the Mets were to score 2 runs here. Where's the dice? What'd I do, man? Oh, there it is. All right, so here's Franco. Face up to 6 batters is face 3. 2 outs left here. Let's see, it's a 3-8. That is a walk. 19 is too high. Fitzgerald swings. That's a 6-7. Up. Power hit to left field. 7 against a lefty. That's a double to left field. Fitzgerald says, thank you very much. I'm keeping the wheels moving. So that will bring up Tidrow. And it's not. It's going to bring up another pinch hitter. And I think that's going to be actually Kelvin Chapman. Okay. Batted 289. I can do that. All right. So runner on second. 1 out. And let's pinch hit for Dick Tidrow. I'm going to put Chapman in. Pinch hitter. All right. So Fitzgerald on second. Slow runner. But again, he doesn't really matter. He's a 2. Kelvin Chapman is a 4. And Chapman batted 289 on the year with 3 homers and 23 RBIs. Pinch hit 12 times against lefties. So here's the pitch from Franco. 1-5 is an EB. Interesting. And the swing is a 1-7. Oh, with no runners on, that's an S5. But there is a runner, I'm sorry, not with no runners in scoring position, that's an S5. But there is a runner in scoring position, so that's just an S5. And Fitzgerald says, man, I wish I was faster because I think I would have scored here, Kurt. So if you put in a pinch runner, S5, 4+, he's not. So it's now runners on first and third. Oh boy, what are we doing here? Does Cincinnati have a closer? 6-4 here, the tying run at first base. Checking through that pitching staff. Do we have anybody who gets guys out? Was it Ron Robinson? No. Bill Scherer? No. Uchenko? Not really. Tibbs? No. Pastore? No. Oh, I know who it was. No, it wasn't him either. Ted Power? He had 11. Joe Price had 0. Did we just not... Come on, man. No, I guess there's no real guy. So, Backman, pinch. Let's see. Backman is a switch hitter. Against lefties, he's a little bit better, but he strikes out more and walks more. Actually, against lefties, he did not do as well. So they're going to keep Franco in. This is his last batter. This will be his 6th batter. So first and third, 1 out. There is a chance for Chapman to steal. He's got a 6. He might go because the manager is 7, too high, so he's not going. So Franco is going to deal from the stretch against Backman. 3-8. Walk. Holy moly. And that is a walk. Oh my gosh. Bases loaded. For Jose Oquendo of all people. That's his top of the range for Franco. So they're going to bring another pitcher. He's just pouring gasoline all over the place. I don't know why. And that'll bring in Ted Power. So... interesting. Bases loaded. 1 out. Ted Power comes out of the bullpen. 9-7 with 11 saves. 2.82 ERA. So he was very effective that year. He'll be facing Jose Oquendo, who's kind of a light hitter. Let's see. Actually, do we double switch? Aha, see? Double switch. But who would we put in? Probably should double switch because Franco's supposed to be leading off. Oh, we'll do a new catcher. So here's Franco. Look at me double switching. This is amazing, people. It's not Franco. Who is it? It's Power. So Ted Power is going to be in bat 8th. And then catching will be some other guy. So let's look at that chart. We got Brad Golden, we've got Dave Van Gorder, and Alan Nicely. Who wants it? Let's see. Van Gorder is the better fielder. So let's see. There you are, Dave. Hi, nice to meet you. All right, so Dave Van Gorder is going to come in and catch and lead off. Wow, what a fun offense. All right, and Power comes in at the 8th hole. All right, so Van Gorder got cards falling everywhere here. Let's see. So there's Bill Ardello, Oster. I don't know what I'm doing. Oster, and then Dave Van Gorder, and then obviously, yeah, the pitcher hit card. So there's Van Gorder above Aretas. Thank you for being you. All right. So, bases loaded, top of the 9th, 1 out. Mets are down by 2, and Jose Oquendo, interesting, is up against Ted Power. Interesting. Sorry, I'm seeing him listed batting lefty, but the card says he's a righty. But wasn't he a switch hitter? I need to look that up. Maybe he wasn't a switch hitter that year? I don't know. All right, so Ted Power will be pitching to Jose Oquendo, batting right-handed. Here's the pitch from Power. Bases loaded. The infield will be playing back. They just need an out. 1-8. Strikeout. 16. Too high. Oquendo swings. Crackers. Let's roll it over. Roll it over. 5-2. That's a G5. Uh-oh. But he's a 14 plus, so he's hard to get into a double play. So let's see. It's a 13. I'm sorry. We have a 5-2. That's a G5, so it's to the third baseman, Asaski, G5. Okay. The roll adjustment is 0, so it's a 13, and that is just a fielder's choice. So the run scores, it's 6-5. Now we've got Chapman and Oquendo on first and third, so the tying run is on third. Infield will be playing back, and we've got Keith Hernandez. Well, this is interesting. Oquendo is a 3 to steal. Oddly enough, he's going. Oh my God, he is going. Jeez. All right, so Power, interestingly, is a +3 on stolen bases. Oquendo is a 17. Van Gorder is so only a 20. He's a 2, so he does steal second. Okay. All right. No stealing home. Thank you very much. Runner on third holds. He goes to second. So runners on second and third now with 2 out. 6-5 in the top of the 9th. They can walk Hernandez. Do they do that to get to Foster? Did that just backfire? Would you do that? I think I might do that. Hernandez batted 311. Foster was 269. I'm going to walk him. Okay. Bases loaded. 2 out. Power doesn't walk many guys. He had a 38 and 108 2/3 because that would massively backfire. But Foster doesn't really walk much anyway. So George Foster, righty versus righty. Here's the pitch. 6-5. That is a strikeout against a 12 against a righty. That is a strikeout. George Foster goes down swinging. 1 run on 2 hits and 3 runners left on base. Incredible intentional walk by me. And that's the final. Cincinnati. Whew. That was a really awesome game. 6-5. 6-5, the Reds win it. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors. 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Looking at the box score, wow, we had really, let's see. So Mario Soto got the win. He's 1-0. 7 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs with 8 Ks. John Franco got the hold. Ted Power got the save. 2/3 of an inning with a walk and a strikeout. Again, that walk was intentional. Mike Torrez, 2 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. But check out this relieving core between Gaff, Gorman, and Tidrow combined for 5 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. So they basically saved the day. Backman, Foster, and Parker had failed range plays that turned outs into hits. So 2 for the Mets, 1 for the Reds. We had 1 error. That was Gaff on the throw and the pickoff throw. Let's see, home runs, Strawberry, 1 off of Soto. He also had a stolen base. Hodges had 1, Brooks had 1, and Okendo had 1. So the Mets had 4 stolen bases. But it wasn't enough. Let's see, left on base, Mets with 8. Runners in scoring position, the Mets were 2 for 10, and Cincinnati was 3 for 7. But again, the final score, Cincinnati 6 and the Mets 5. That was an awesome game. If only they could all be like that. That's about it from me. I'm going to be hanging up. Hopefully you enjoyed this game. I'm going to have to post this just because I think whether you like my style, whether you like the game or whatever, but this was an awesome ending. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please subscribe if you haven't. Ring the bell, yada, 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 and stuff like that. Hopefully you enjoy my broadcasts, and I will continue to evolve over time, I swear. I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Thank you. Bye.